Hey kiddos, for today's activity we're going to make a few snakes out of clay. For your supplies you're going to need a few different colors of clay, one spatula, one pencil, and one magic marker. Now we're ready, so come in closer and let's start. Okay, great. So in order to make the body of our snakes, we have to take some of our clay. So we can use multiple colors. So for this first snake, we're going to use green and yellow. And then for our second snake, we can use orange and red. But again, you can mix the colors that you want. Then we'll also need white to make our eyes and then also yellow to do a little tongue. So this we'll use afterwards. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a little piece of white and we're going to make a tiny 2 little balls to make the eyes. So just take 2 small pieces, roll them around in your fingers, and you'll see that you'll have 2 even size balls. Roll them around, take your time, use your fingers to kind of rub, and you'll see that they end up being the same size. So now we need to make the 2 other eyes for our second snake. So just take 2 small little pieces and rub them around between your thumb and your index. Nice and soft, and it'll get the shape going all by itself. So rub nice and lightly, rub it against the table. If you have too much, you can kind of just separate and, start to work on it separately. Rub it against the table, rub it around. Perfect. So now all of our eyes are ready to go. And we're going to put them on the side. Put the extra back in our cup. We're going to put our clay away. Great. So now we're going to make the body of our first snake. So we're going to open up our green clay and start to work on his little skinny snake body. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take 1 ball of green. So take about that much of clay and rub it around in your hands. We're going to try and make a really nice and round ball. So it's kind of the size of like a big grape, a big juicy grape. Want it to be nice and soft. Put that aside next to your eyes. And now we're going to make a second ball, which is going to be slightly smaller than our first ball. So imagine like half the size of a grape. And rub it around nice and evenly. Perfect. So now we have our 2 balls of green clay. And we're going to make another ball of yellow clay just about the same size as the smaller grape. Put it aside and rub it around evenly between your palms. Perfect. So now we're going to set aside all of the various components of our first snake's body. So let's take our first smaller green grape ball. Take it and start rubbing it down across your desk with your hand. Spread your fingers apart and kind of rub it along the side in order for it to become a line. Not too skinny, you don't want it to break apart, and for it to be kind of evenly shaped all throughout the line of clay. Gorgeous. So now we're going to take our yellow ball and we want to make it the exact same size and width as our green line. So rub it through, spread your fingers apart. Oop, sometimes they break. So you got to just rub it a little evenly all throughout, nice and easily, not too fast. Nice and easily. Take your time with this and rub it evenly so it comes out to be just about the same size and width. You can run it alongside to compare. Oh, all right, that looks pretty good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take them together and pinch the very end so they kind of mold, and then you're going to fold them, twist, and pull them towards you. You're going to pull both of the lines towards you and you'll see that they start to blend together like a little popsicle. Perfect. So now we're going to rub them together in order for the 2 colors to really blend, and this is going to become the snake's body. Look how cool that looks. So keep rubbing them together. So again, it's kind of evenly sized throughout and that they're nice and blended. And you'll see that the tail is slightly pinched. So pinch it. Plate it down. Make it look a little skinnier towards the end. And then we're going to curve the body like a real snake. So kind of like an S. So curve it in just the way that you see fit. Perfect. Next thing we're going to do is take our bigger ball and we're going to make the head of the snake. So snake's head isn't like a perfect circle, kind of like our head isn't a perfect circle. So pat it down a little bit up top, squeeze it, pat it, It's going to kind of look like a smushed pear. So just smush it a little bit. Feel it out. What do you want your snake's head to look like? A little higher. Great. And then you're going to connect it to the other half of your snake's body and pinch it together so the body and the head become one. Perfect. Now we're going to take our pencil, and with the tip of the pencil, we're going to make some little snake nostrils so he can breathe. A little bigger, and then his mouth underneath. So lift up the head and just draw a little straight line, not too heavy. Don't have to press too much into the clay. Just drag it across, nice and easy, and make a few teethies. You can pat the extra clay down. And then we're going to add his eyes on top. So the little balls that we made at first, you'll take them both, pat them down right on top of the head. Perfect. So his eyes are nice and stuck to his head. Great. And now we're going to take a black marker, a black skinny marker, and draw 2 little dots, 1 dot in each eye so we can see the actual corneas of his eye. And lastly, we're going to take a pinch of yellow clay, teeny tiny, roll it around in your fingers, and we'll make a tiny little snake tongue. So even if it's too big, you can just keep taking off some clay, rubbing it, rolling it. Great. Curve it a little bit, and you're going to poke it right into his little mouth. Press it down. And there, our first snake is done. So we're going to move him aside. Our cute little snake. Hopefully he's not poisonous because we're touching him a whole lot. And now we're going to make our second snake with our red and orange clay. So let's open up our red clay. And same thing as the first snake. We're going to make a few balls. A big grape and a small grape. So now to take our big grape, take some clay, rub it around in your hands. Now take about half amount of clay that you took initially, rub it around in the palms of your hands, rub, 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 to make a nice round shape. Perfect. And then you can compare them to see that the shapes are of equivalent size. Now we're going to take just a little bit of orange clay. Perfect. And let's make it the same size as the smaller one. So you can see the bigger one is a little bit heavier. Rub it around in your palms. Compare it. Looks good. They're the same size. So now we're going to start rolling our 2 small balls. Rolling, 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 just like a rolling pin. Like when your mom cooks, sometimes she'll use a rolling pin to make dough for cakes. Except for imagine that your hand is that rolling pin. And try and, if you see that the dough starts to get fat on one side, just take your hands and perfect. Just start pressing it on the other side so it starts to even out the entire width of the snake body. And then do the same thing with your other ball. Take your hand, start rubbing it all throughout the length of the ball. Keep going and use your first, orange line as kind of a reference for how long you want it to be. Line them up. They look great. So just like the first one, we're going to pinch. And then you're going to slightly start rolling and twisting. Make sure that the red is wrapping around the orange. And take your time with this, you guys. You can take as much time as you want. Even if you want to start again, make new balls, roll them again, just so the twist is really perfect. Take your time here. Gorgeous. So once they're all nice and twisted, take your hands once again and nice and slowly rub them together so that they're really becoming one line, one little snake's body. Awesome. Great. So now the thickness looks pretty even all throughout. And we're going to start twisting the little body of the snake just the way that we want it to. So this one looks just like our first snake. Same thing. Make our little snake's head. Start pushing him up top, on the sides. Again, we're going for that smushed pear look. To really look like a little snake's head. And a little bit pointier up by the neck. And then press it down into the snake's body and do a little pinching so then the body really connects to the head. Perfect. Then we're going to take our 2 snake eyes that we worked on in the beginning. Press them down so they really connect to the head. Our colored pencil to make the nostrils. 2 dots each. and then just graze your pencil against the snake underneath to make the mouth. So nice and light in the beginning, and then you can make a few holes right in the middle of the mouth, right there. So eventually when we make his little tongue, he's going to have the room to put it in there. So again, we're going to take a little bit of yellow clay, roll it around in your fingers, pop it in the mouth. Perfect. Now he just needs 2 black dots for his eyes. And now our snakes can see. Yay! Great job, you guys. The snakes look awesome. So kiddos, here are our cute little snakes. I hope you like how yours turned out and that you had an awesome time making them. I'd also love to see a picture of your snakes, so send them into tutokid.com. Hope to see you soon!